Hello and welcome to another episode of Good Brews, Bad Views. I'm your host, Max, as always joined by James.
Woo!
And Ryan.
Double woo!
And here we are, episode 20 of Good Brews, Bad Views, going back to the movie that started it all. One, the only, Super Mario Brothers. Now,
so how exactly did this start at all, Max?
Oh, okay.
Give us the deets.
All right,
here.
so way back in the time known as Christmas Break 2015, I was given a bottle of Dragon's Milk from my aunt for Christmas because she didn't know what kind of craft beer I like, which I do like this one. But that combined with a $10 gift card to Riff Tracks, I picked up Super Mario Brothers, was watching it, and then was drinking my beer, and then live tweeting about it. And James was like, hey, this is a cool thing. We should do this as a podcast. And I'm like, we definitely should do this as a podcast. So that is the origin story of Good Brews, Bad Views.
Ta-da!
And then Ryan joined.
Yeah, it's just I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah.
I'm just the dealer for the equipment, probably.
Yeah, and your questionable tastes in movies.
Yeah. Questionable yet varied.
Yep. So this movie is so terrible and atrocious, you can watch it for free on YouTube, which is what we are doing. So
so we're going with the one of the original catalysts to this podcast. We have Dragon's Milk on hand. That's what we're all drinking today.
Yep.
It's
so
gonna be a good time.
Yep. So if you were watching along, pull it up on YouTube. We're about 23 seconds in. The Hollywood Pictures logo has just appeared beneath the Sphinx. So if you're watching, hit play now.
Oh man, it worked that time.
Yeah. Good job, Ryan.
Didn't have to double back on anything. Pro status. So this first 13 seconds with this music is the most Mario thing in the whole movie.
It is the greatest grift ever.
Yeesh.
Yep.
So I hadn't seen this movie. Seriously, I hadn't seen this movie in probably 2 decades.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Rewatching it did a lot of weird things to my brain. And as I might mention throughout, some parts like actually genuinely skis me out a little bit, which is a weird response. But anyway, so this, what looks like it was done in Microsoft Paint, which is a common joke around here, but this really looks like it was done in Paint, like actually done in Paint.
Do you think that the makers of Land Before Time sued for the Brontosaurus imagery that they used there?
Nah.
Potentially.
They were on the direct-to-video path by this point.
That was a weird way to break the ice with this movie. To start, like it's over already. That whole animated sequence is done. Nothing like that ever happens again.
They didn't have the budget for real dinosaurs.
Yeah. Also, the meteor didn't hit in Brooklyn.
No.
Nah.
This whole info dump that they put at the very beginning of the movie is really a big stretch.
Yeah.
But I legitimately don't know how you do a live-action Mario Brothers without doing some sort of ridiculous stretch like this. Because
the series is surreal as fuck.
It's so weird.
Also, this movie has a ton of Dutch angles.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I mean, almost the entire time I was watching this movie, I just felt that it should have been animated, right? I mean, because of the constraints with the technology and the filming techniques and all this stuff when this movie was made, it kind of handicapped itself from the get-go trying to do this property, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think that speaks to the time period upon which this movie was made. The early 90s was not a moment in which you could make a animated movie and it be for adults.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I get they did Roger Rabbit around that time, but even that was interlaced with, live action.
Yeah, yeah. Which, that kind of filmmaking wasn't, unique at the time, but I mean, you have like Mary Poppins and Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Right.
But all that stuff's older, though.
That was much older. There weren't that many blends of live action.
No. But, I mean, you couldn't turn around in the early 90s and make a completely animated movie and say, this movie is for adults, and people not look at it with a side eye.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe in Japan, but not here.
Yeah.
But I mean, Mario is a thing for kids. This is a PG movie, so I don't know. I mean, you don't have to have it be for adults, but unless you were like Disney, you really couldn't do like a big animation movie and have it be successful. Like, this is when Disney's going through their big resurgence in the early 90s. Aladdin's come out. Beauty and the Beast, I think, comes out the same year. Oh, Dennis Hopper. Yeah. How far are you fallen from counterculture icon?
I mean, I think that I guess the point I'm trying to make is that it's not like you could. It wasn't easy to sell a animated movie for adults at that point. This movie, yes, it's for kids, but adults go see movies with kids.
True.
And a lot of people that grew up at this point on Mario Brothers. I mean, this is, 7 years after Mario came out?
Yeah,
something
roughly
like that.
So you're talking maybe early adults would go see this movie?
Those nuns are super disappointed because they all love omelets.
Yeah, they're all super hungry. That's not how they wanted their morning or evening to end.
Mm-hmm. I know this is only supposed to be like 25 years ago, but Brooklyn and New York feels way older.
Yes,
that's totally unsanitary. Get those off the wall, you lunatic.
I do kind of appreciate the design of like the Mario Brothers apartment. It feels like plumbers live here. And I legitimately enjoy Bob Hoskins being cast as Mario.
His performance is just great. It's
be
very entertaining. Yeah,
it may be his biggest regret of his life, which he has stated. But I do enjoy him as Mario.
I wonder how many times that dove screwed up their freaking shots, flittering around back there.
But hey, it's John Leguizamo's, I think, second appearance on this podcast from Gamer.
Oh right,
equal amount of weight.
Yeah,
you are.
Why?
Oddly, this is one of the scenes I remember most from them seeing this movie originally. Was the little pin,
the pin thing in the face?
Yeah,
because I wanted one. A lot of people remember that.
Yeah, because I really wanted one when I was that age. For whatever reason, I obsessed over it.
I had one when I was young, but not that large.
Leguizamo looks 90s in this whole movie too.
Yeah, totally.
This movie definitely feels like it was made in 1992.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of the music you talked about, Ryan, the music in this feels old.
Yeah.
So Alan Silvestri is the guy who did the soundtrack or the music for this. Most probably best known for the soundtrack to Back to the Future, but the music here feels like Flintstones, the live action Flintstones.
I give you that, yeah. But for whatever reason in Flintstones it feels right.
Yeah, it feels appropriate the whole time.
It's comedic, it's bright, it's poppy.
Yeah, this feels like music for me. This feels like music from like a 50s movie,
the golden age of Hollywood stuff.
Yeah.
The
subtle nod to Italy there on the door.
Scapelli.
Yeah.
I also struggle believing that these two are brothers. It seems like there's an enormous age gap.
They say they're adopted brothers.
Now, there with that image, the first thing that struck me in that image was that the towers were still up.
Yep.
Immediately.
Yep.
I mean, it's still
in any movie that they're up, you notice they're up.
Yeah, it's still amazing to me how much of an impact that has had on just watching old movies from that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh wow, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, this is like really jumping ahead, but you notice that you see them in the other world as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I totally missed that they're not actual brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I learned something today.
I mean, I can understand if you just have blocked this movie out from your mind.
Yeah.
Which is why we were drinking. But
True.
He brings it up on the date with Daisy.
And Mario's just insanely way super attractive girlfriend when they're out at dinner compared to him.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, that's too many blips apart on the scale, I think. That's might be the most unrealistic part of this movie. Nothing says Mario like a good eye fuck. Jesus.
And just throw the mob in for real quick, just for fun.
Yep.
This is so like these guys are weird.
Yeah.
This whole subplot is weird with these guys.
So that's Iggy and Spike, who like are actual like Mario Brothers characters,
Right.
Yep.
And that's Fisher Stevens over there, who will soon be known better for as the Plague from Hackers.
Oh,
a
right.
movie I legitimately enjoy despite its terrible 90s-ness.
Somehow, I think it's Iggy actually has a modern day haircut right now, though.
He does,
Right.
yeah.
Ahead of his time, really.
Yeah. Well,
A
Fisher
pioneer.
Stevens, Spike has the Slipknot hair from Suicide Squad.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Well, I always took that as like that's their way of being like they're like lizards because
Yeah.
of their hair.
Yeah. Well, Koopa's got the same kind of thing going on.
Yeah. You can tell that she's a archaeologist because she's wearing a vest.
Vest
Right.
and, shorts.
Yep.
She's no Dr. Ellie Sadler, I'll tell you that.
He's very, very stealthy there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Iggy and Spike are what the regular inhabitants of Brooklyn look like these days.
Yeah.
Just randomly reenacting Three Stooges skits.
Yep. Also, because she's wearing a lot of earth tones. That's how you know she's an archaeologist.
Yep.
Yeah, none of this is creepy. Just leering at her, speechless. That's totally fine.
I liked. I'm sorry, but in the background you can hear like the phone call being like, "Oh my God, there's water everywhere." It's a nice little touch. I mean, this movie is atrocious.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but there's some little like charm to it, despite it. I don't know.
Right.
That might be that might be a stretch.
In moments, sure, it bleeds through.
I like that he complains about water and then it's Evian, which was like the only fancy bottled water you could get in the early 90s.
Yeah. He's like $5.
Yeah.
I wanted them both to whip around and be like, Scapelli!
Just becomes an expletive through the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Come on!
Where this movie made like 3 years later, Scapelli's first name would be Wario.
All right.
Yep. More leering.
Mm-hmm.
That's like a New York Post headline.
Yeah.
Also, thank you for staring at me constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just starving for attention. Her head has an odd shape to me. Like it tapers outward the more it goes up. It's like the
It's like
first
a-
three
it's like
quarters of a balloon.
Heart-shaped face or something like that.
Do you notice that at no point do you ever see Luigi adjusting his hat, but it continually shifts direction upon which he's wearing it through the whole movie?
I didn't notice that, but now I'm going to be watching it like a hawk.
Yep. I like how Mario's just like, "Oh, Luigi, you bumbling buffoon."
Yeah.
Sage wisdom from the eldest Mario. Yeah, famous last words.
Yeah.
Step into the van.
There's been all these women missing.
Yeah.
Well, step into our weird van.
The missing women combined with like it's dangerous to walk the streets is a very, very sinister line for the time because the Central Park incident just happened a couple years prior to this. Which, if you don't know what that is, go look it up on Wikipedia.
The one that our current president was
Oh, God damn it.
famous for wanting executions for.
Mm-hmm. Even though the people they pegged for it were innocent.
Yep.
Thanks for never wearing a bra in this movie. Oh, wait. This is...
I do really enjoy that brotherly/fatherly vibe that Mario has toward Luigi, where he's like, I want to help you succeed.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, he's not just like, you're a putz.
Yeah. 6 o'clock, because apparently they're all over 55.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Time to be done.
He's got to go get that. Well, Bob Hoskins maybe he's that old, but he needs to go get that senior discount special.
Yeah.
Do you think they filmed a bunch of scenes that didn't make it into the movie, like Bob Hoskins in a Tanuki suit or anything? Frog Hoskins?
Frog Hoskins.
Hopefully.
Was that all just a setup to say Frog Hoskins?
It wasn't.
Okay. If it was, I'm proud of you.
Right, thank you. So yeah, Mario's lady is, I don't know. I mean, she's super attractive, and it's kind of funny because he's just a weird looking dude.
It's also stereotypically New York. Like
Right.
all of like the women who are kidnapped are like stereotypical New Yorkers as far as their accent goes.
Yeah.
and-
I mean, was Fran Drescher not around when this movie was filmed, or what?
I don't. She might have been too popular when this movie was
Yeah,
filmed.
too good. Yeah, the nanny was too good for Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Well, that's speaking of which,
She wasn't too good for Santa's sleigh.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, that's
true.
15 years later.
Yeah.
No, more than that. But
Who just grabs people's jewelry like that?
the same kind of people
Creeps.
who grab people's arms when they want to look at their tattoos. But speaking of people who are too good for this movie, there is a nice list of people who were considered for either Koopa or various people within this movie, including one Arnold Schwarzenegger, Michael Keaton, and Tom Hanks. I think Tom Hanks was considered as Mario, but the studio they thought he was too good for this movie, which they were right.
Yeah. Mr. Mom does not belong in this movie.
I'm too good for this movie.
Yet here we are.
Yeah.
Right.
You use his proper name, Max.
Beetlejuice?
Mr. Mom.
Or he could be the third version of Steve from Multiplicity.
A movie that neither of us have seen by the blank
No.
looks on me and James's
All right,
faces.
fair enough.
Multiplicity?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that movie. Sorry, I was watching the awkward moment where Mario keeps leering with giant smile as Luigi
Right.
is awkwardly asking people things.
There's no door on that car.
Yeah.
A late night creep chatter in a cab.
Yep.
Are they in a cab? I don't remember.
I'd watch a movie of just Spike and Iggy.
Yeah.
Spike and Iggy in Ape World is what I want
Yes.
to watch.
Well, did you guys... There is a mid-credit scene in this movie.
Oh, no. I didn't stick around for that.
Wait, what?
Yep.
No, I ran for the hills the moment it ended.
Oh, no, yeah. There is a mid-credit scene.
Whew, well, I guess we're gonna...
That's two movies in a row that Max is surprising us
Yeah.
with a mid-credit scene.
Yeah, you must have a stronger constitution than the other two of us here, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually heading for the hills by the time the credits roll.
We'll talk about the prolonged effects of doing this podcast in our next episode.
Yeah.
Because it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
This whole conversation here is super weird, too.
Yeah.
We're I'm a weirdo. No, I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
It's endearing, I guess, in the sense that these two realize that
They're both
weird and
Yeah.
they're gonna be okay. But this moves really fast.
Yeah.
The only thing weirder than that conversation was John Leguizamo's white pants.
Yeah,
Yes.
they were super white. Super Koopa white.
Those two are as
Well
stealthy as
choreographed.
a D&D group.
D&D barbarian.
Yeah.
Clang, clang.
That is a soundproof bag.
Yep.
Our
That's how
boss
they get
wants a
away with
live
it.
staging of The Nanny every night. You're coming with me.
Yep.
Let's race like we're 12.
Well, it's John Leguizamo. He's acting like he's perpetually 12.
True.
My first exposure to John Leguizamo was a movie that I may or may not, see if you guys want to do for this show. Was The Pest, which is
I think his
terrible movie.
I think my first exposure to John Leguizamo was either this or Spawn, when he's the clown.
The Clown. Yep, that was the other
Oh,
big one.
yeah. That's right.
So here they're in a Ghostbusters 2 set.
Yes.
Really?
No, I don't know, maybe.
I
But
don't know.
there's that scene in Ghostbusters 2 where they're on a train track and the ghost train hits them.
Right.
As someone who has been on an archaeological dig, this is not how it works.
I didn't think it worked like this either. And I'm basing my knowledge off of Jurassic Park and Indiana Jones.
Neither of those is how it works either. Actually, I will give Jurassic Park credit. Jurassic Park at the very beginning is mildly close to
When
how
they're in
it
the
works.
cave or when they're in Montana?
With the
When
dig
they're in
site.
Montana
Yeah.
at the
Okay.
dig site. That's mildly close. But they're also able to dust off a lot of what should be very hard rock very easily.
Yeah.
So.
All right, make sure you're wearing your official Scapelli T-shirts when you're going to sabotage that dig site. We need to know. People need to know that Scapelli's this is capable of this kind of destruction.
Yeah, you gotta wear the uniform, man.
Yep.
Yeah, John Leguizamo's pissed. He was totally ready to have his bone excavated just then.
I do like that joke. I know exactly what to do, and then they go get Mario.
Yep.
Like, I thought that was funny.
I love his reaction. Like, Scapelli!
Yeah.
he's on the warpath. And I do like how he has the plumber's belt, or the tool belt, like, on his bedroom mirror. Right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what he does. Yep. He is a plumber.
You think he has a ritual similar to like old school Batman? He just slides down a pole and just hits the
slides down a
floor.
pipe.
Yeah,
yep.
Right. He's just ready to go.
I mean, that's kind of the thing, is that there are like you've said, Ryan, there are elements to this movie where you're like, this is mildly funny and endearing. They just they took it so weirdly in the other world that it hits such weird, strange notes.
Yeah. I mean, so Mario's known for being like really surreal. You eat the fly grip mushroom, you get stronger or whatever.
Right.
And this movie has it, but it's framed in a science fiction perspective as opposed to
like a fantasy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's just weird stuff that distracts you from what this movie should be. If it's supposed to be a surreal movie, you can do that, but why make everything bumper car technology in the other world?
Right.
Like, I know the whole thing is like, we don't have any resources, but even that, like, why are you bothering with all of those storylines?
Yeah. Of like justification for
all these other things. Just go to this other world that's this weird world where Dinosaur Man has captured the king or the princess or something.
Right. And, a common criticism, I guess, of the movies we watch is often identity crisis, and that just reflecting everything that pretty much you just said, James.
The movie doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't know how best to present the story that they want to tell, nor do they know how to best throw on the screen the I can't speak today. The original content, the themes and emotions of a Mario game, and
you have to think about it. This is still very, 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 very early in Mario games.
Right at this, at the time of this recording, we've all spent years and decades.
No. But I'm saying, like, even within the Mario series,
right.
Yeah. You've got
the
first couple Mario lands, or Super Mario games. The first two for the Game Boy, Donkey Kong.
Right.
There's no
Mario World.
I don't think World's come out yet.
No, so 3 is probably as far along as they've gotten.
Yeah.
Well, they must have had, because didn't Yoshi first show up in the Super Nintendo Mario?
Mario? Yeah, you're right.
Because then they at least have to have gone that far by the time this movie's made, because Yoshi's in the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he does the tongue thing. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Oof.
So it's very on, but like Mario 64, which I think for my generation is like the cornerstone of like Mario games, like hasn't happened yet.
Right. So maybe this is reaching too much, but when Daisy's face first comes through the rock wall, does it almost seem like they were trying to recreate the Luigi putting his face through the pins?
Yep, very much so.
I didn't get that, but okay.
Yeah,
I'm more of like, how the hell does she do that? Considering we see an extensive scene of Bob Hoskins falling through realities,
right?
But
because
my own justification for that is either the necklace,
it's the necklace,
or she's already been through once, and because she's from the other world.
Yeah, my guess is the necklace.
Smack fall.
Yeah.
Try jumping. I mean, he is Jumpman, right?
Right.
No, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't. It's a very small thing here, but I thought this was funny watching him struggle with this. Bob Hoskins just is very animated in a comedic way for this.
I did like he falls like
the flip.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is rough.
Yeah, this is bad, man.
This is 92.
It's like playing that the first-person space shooter Descent.
Ooh,
wow,
deep cut.
Yeah, it's a long pull.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of first-person shooters from the 90s, I've been watching a lot of speedruns from like Doom 2 and Quake lately.
Nice. Oh, I love me some Doom 2.
But I was shocked by what people can do with Quake.
No.
Apparently, they ran out of bags.
Yeah.
Down a super generic tunnel here.
Yep.
But Mario goes from like 0 to 100 there.
He does. Well, just mention Scapelli around him when he goes into a berserker.
It's trigger
rage.
word, yeah.
Yeah.
And now we go into discount Blade Runner world.
Yeah, the world building now becomes very weird.
It's so odd. I don't understand it at all.
And this is one of the two things in this movie that really starts to just make me a little uneasy. Weirdly enough, it's just the fungus that's everywhere. And again, they tie it to the story and they tie it to the game. You know?
It is very world, yeah.
Yeah.
Very,
There's Thwomp.
Yeah, Thwomp.
And then you see Bullet Bills later.
Yeah.
Yep.
There it is.
But yeah, this is very much like discount Blade Runner.
Right.
Yeah.
Judge Dredd will do something very similar in like a year or two.
Mm-hmm. This whole thing,
Yeah.
I don't.
The bumper cars.
Yeah.
That's a huge set, though.
That's
Look
yeah.
at the size of
The
this
set design is something I was like, wow, there's a lot going on. Like, this is complex.
Yeah.
You've got multi-layered, and it projects on both directions. You see a lot of
and they're
storefronts.
huge.
Yep.
There are tons of extras.
Again, I do like. There's another joke that I do enjoy. I don't know. I haven't been to Manhattan in a couple weeks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is something for sure that like the set design, they're complex and they're huge and they're fairly detailed. But I'm also often irritated by just the real, just pandering, insincere nods to the game. Like, okay, like the signs we were just seeing, like Bullet Bills and Thwomp. Like, okay, so you made a couple of neon signs. I don't know. There's probably some more creative and meaningful way to tie those things from the game to the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I liked when they isn't it they put little things that look like bullet bills into their hoppy shoe things,
Yep.
which is another weird thing to put into the game
Yeah.
to be like you can jump high, but like they are bullet shaped, so when you hop on those, you do jump higher. Like I thought, I was like, okay, maybe that's a
Yeah,
a stretch, but like
it's a big stretch, but
What was that guy's issue?
I don't know.
In a world where people randomly fall off ledges on their bikes.
yep. That was a teenage mammal.
I mean,
That
that's
was a porno sign.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
weird.
again,
like that was weird.
that's weird.
And that okay, here it begins here. I don't know what it is about those character designs, but they make me really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Tell it like it is, Hopper.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much weird just character quirks and just everything about this is weird.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fact that they made Koopa like a germaphobe is odd. So is
boy,
Koopa like 5 million years old then?
he's pretty
I don't know.
No, I think he's just complaining from a
Yeah,
like,
a
world
yeah.
perspective.
pejorative we.
Also, there's nothing better to start off with like this villain should be scary and
That was
terrible.
weird.
Yes. That this villain should be scary and terrible and horrible, and everyone should fear him other than a paraffin wax hand effort.
Right.
Yes.
It's an interesting outfit that lady's got on.
She has so many wardrobe changes throughout this movie.
Yeah.
She's all, my leaves, my lovely lady leaves. Really? A leaf over each breast? Come on. This is a Mario movie.
Yeah.
I did not even notice that.
Oh, no.
It's some good hair, Dennis Hopper.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how you know he's Koopa.
So what do you think was a more like ridiculous Dennis Hopper thing? This or Waterworld?
You know what? I don't think I've seen Waterworld all the way through.
I wish there was a picture that people could see of the face that I'm giving you right now.
Waterworld is one of my choices to do for this, by the way.
That's a long movie.
I know, but
Just need more beer.
in some ways, I actually like Waterworld.
It's,
There's a lot of fun, like good world building in
Yeah.
Waterworld. Waterworld doesn't particularly tell a good story,
No.
but it tells an interesting world.
Yeah, I'll give it that.
It's Mad Max
on water.
on water without Miller to tell you a story.
Right.
Jack Black is in that movie. I'm not gonna tell you who he is if we ever do it.
But no, I'd say that this is a far worse character than the Waterworld character.
Yeah.
Because remember how like Waterworld was going to be the thing.
Yeah.
Like, that was the movie that the year it came
Yeah.
out, and it just bombed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing it like on video at home, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I lived on the water, so it was like, yeah, it's some really cool ideas.
And I think I'm trying to remember the timeline of that. I may have been still living out in Hawaii at that point. So
yeah, it's like a mid-90s. So
Yeah.
it's about a year or two after Jurassic Park, I feel like. Because it's got some impressive CGI in it.
yeah.
This is great.
Oh, Big
Yeah.
Bertha.
I love Big Bertha.
She
Big
is
Bertha's
the
the
best
best part of this
character.
movie. With the spike, like the giant spiked outfit that she
Yeah.
wears
I
and
agree.
everything.
A lot of other people have something similar to that, but hers is red, so it definitely stands out.
Yeah.
Again, the sets. It's great. Look at all this stuff.
The cars.
Yeah. Like,
You know what
this
would have been better?
wild.
A set in which there were blocks you could punch, or mountains,
Right.
or colors. I would have liked some colors in this movie.
There's tons of colors in this movie.
That like
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They're all muted, though.
right. I mean, I think that's part of the reason why Bertha's a lot of fun is because she is so brightly,
Right.
comparatively colored.
Yeah.
There's the weird jumpy shoes, which make no
Yep.
sense at all.
Nope. The look on their faces are just like, what are we doing?
Just
Yeah.
the casual, I'm totally floating.
Yep.
But I find it's interesting how they don't immediately go for the Mario wears red, Luigi wears green, and they flip them up
Right.
until they get the
The suits
until
out
they
of
get
the
their suits
locker.
at the end.
Yeah.
Yep. I associate cleavage with Mario as well. This irritated me to no end the first time I saw the movie.
Oh,
'Cause
the
spoilers.
That's
the-
Mojo Nixon
This guy's
from
Toad.
Psychobilly Band.
We got to show how dystopian this world is, so we have to arrest the musician.
Right.
That is again some weird hair and Toad.
Yeah.
Why?
Right.
Yeah.
Why? Just,
This is I'd agree that this is like you were talking about, Ryan. That's one of those nods that just we got to put this name in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love the Koopa poster in the background. You guys see it?
Kissing the baby.
Kissing the baby. Koopa took my baby.
Yeah.
Fucking Goombas, man. Not okay.
I don't get how you go from mushroom people to that.
Yes.
To tiny Beetlejuice head, but still
Yeah.
giant humanoid lizard people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys look at the shirt I'm wearing, it's of the hyperrealism Mario
Right, yeah.
from
That's great.
art by Christopher Hastings from Dr. McNinja, who now also does stuff for Marvel Comics, and it's pretty much like what you would expect a Mario movie to look like if it was real action.
Right.
Like there's still very much people, but the Goombas are just like ridiculous little mushroom things.
Yeah, that's a great shirt.
Some slapstick comedy attempts
Right.
there that just
Yeah.
don't go off at all.
I don't know why the cars don't have brakes. You don't have brake fluid apparently in Koopa Land.
But again, even for such a short scene that was, the set design was great. Like, it was a big open set with a lot going on.
Mhm.
Yeah. Here's
I'm
another.
noticing like the weird like I'm giving you a back rub with my shoe thing.
Yeah.
There's some odd fetishistic tones here.
There's
Yep.
some throughout the whole movie, though.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
way women are portrayed in this
Okay.
other world.
So a couple minute or two ago, when we were introduced to Koopa, and what the hell is that other chick's name? Whatever,
I've
redhead,
down somewhere, but I
scary
can't
redhead
recall.
lady.
Yeah.
When she did the freaky head shake,
Mm-hmm.
which was out of nowhere, that's done again. And I don't know if you guys, let me know if you guys noticed it, but it's in the nightclub scene. Most of the crowd does that same head shake, and it's fucking terrifying.
Huh.
I did not notice
Yeah.
Noticed
that.
that.
Like, this scene is weird.
They we did pass through one of my actual jokes that I do enjoy in this movie when they ask them what their last name
Oh.
is, and he says it's Mario. So
Oh.
is it, your name's Mario? Yeah. What's your name? Luigi Mario. Which I don't know why, but that really makes me laugh a lot. I enjoyed that joke a whole bunch.
Well,
Just-
it makes sense of why they're the Mario brothers.
yeah.
Sorry that I rambled through your...
No.
Your
I mean,
scene.
your point was something that we hadn't seen yet. So
Yeah.
this is also a terrible way to take pictures of people.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that they managed to, two alternate worlds also somehow managed to come up with the same poorly designed measurement system.
Right.
Snap.
Do you think if Tom Cruise would have been in this movie that this wall would have been shortened so he looked taller?
Probably.
You mean Tom Hanks or
No, Tom
Oh.
Cruise.
Okay.
Tom Cruise is always portrayed as a lot taller than...
Then he actually is.
Like Robert Downey Jr.
Yes.
Again, big ass set,
Yep.
a lot going on. Like, it's cool from a technical perspective.
This looks like the set from Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, with all the monsters.
Yep.
Oh, that hallway thing
Tell it like it is, Toad.
with your weird hair.
There's another thing with Toad that I'm going to quiz you guys on to see if you notice it as well later on. And I'm going to hold out and tell you later.
Here, this
Better
is
not
my,
be some nitpicky Mario thing because
It isn't actually.
our GBBV guidelines said we're not going to get that nitpicky over inaccuracies of adaptations, which we've probably failed at, but
Right.
whatever.
well. This one doesn't count. That's a scene to me that the info dump at the beginning of the movie only is necessary if you don't explain it through the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and it's pretty.
But Toad, they explain it like 6 times during this movie. Why there's 2 separate worlds? Like there's no reason for that there.
Well,
Yeah.
this movie's for kids, except that it's filled with weird sexual innuendos at times, and also
It's the 90s. They're everywhere.
Right. One of the other things that I have best memories of Dennis Hopper is from Blue Velvet.
Oh gosh, David Lynch.
Which is a David Lynch film. Stepping aside from Mario for a minute, I heard of Blue Velvet when I did a lot of reading on the Silent Hill games.
Mm-hmm.
And for the second Silent Hill in particular, a lot of the visual aesthetic was borrowed from Blue Velvet.
The bugs.
Well, the hallways and the real oppressive interior shots.
Okay.
A lot of times to the movie. And that was how I first came to know David Lynch, was through researching Silent Hill, the video game, which is just a weird side for me.
Okay.
I watched Blue Velvet before I watched Twin Peaks, but I think my intro to David Lynch is actually his Dune movie, which was terrible.
So while these guys talk about a bunch of stuff that we don't really care about in this weird police interrogation scene,
with no roof,
yeah. For those out there that are not familiar with New Holland's Dragon's Milk,
we're sorry.
Yes, 1, you should be.
Yes.
And 2, this is a bourbon barrel aged stout that is it can border on sweet. But
it's so malty that that it kind of it's just a hint.
Yeah.
It's not like a milk stout where it's like lactose
right.
punch you in the face.
Whack. Right. And I'm not typically a big fan of a lot of bourbon aged stuff. Because I'm just not a fan of bourbon in one sense. Here's another gigantic set. But this I do like. I think the bourbon and the sweetness kind of balance each other out.
Yeah,
a little
there's a very nice blend of flavors here. This was the first beer that I'm like, oh crap, beer can be expensive.
Yeah.
Because back in college, when I went to college just when craft beer was like making its way, and I was like, oh, Bell's Two Hearted, it's an extra $1 or $2 for a 6-pack. It's like, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll get that. It's different. It's smaller. It's a lot better than everything else. But then I remember the first time I saw like a 4-pack of Dragon's Milk. 1, I didn't know they sold beer in 4-packs, and 2, it was like $15, and I'm like, what? So it was definitely a treat.
Because a 6-pack would be like almost $25 at that point, right?
You need to do your math, but yeah.
All right, $22. 15 for 4.
Yeah, okay. But
all right, so a couple of weird visual things in this movie. Did you notice that Koopa is often holding his arms like a T-Rex?
yeah, yeah.
Also,
Yep.
right.
Yep.
The Goomba that is made from Toad has
The
a
spiral
unique
on his
swirl.
head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. It is a nice little way to distinguish him from the countless other Goombas you'll see later, aside from the fact that he has a harmonica on his
Well, yeah.
mouth.
Yeah.
You guys, these things are just no. That's horrifying. That's so bad. I don't like it.
So does this sequence here indicate that at some point someone evolved him from a Tyrannosaurus Rex-like being into Koopa as he is now?
I don't
Have they
know.
done that to all of the creatures in this world?
That's kind of left
It's very
alone.
weird because you saw the little dinosaurs in the streets, and then later you see Yoshi, and Yoshi's like a full-on dinosaur. So
Right.
he's
Yeah.
like, is he like a genetic offshoot that like? I don't get it. I don't know.
Ugh. Oh, what's that stuff he's sliding in?
Yeah.
Oh,
They never say.
no.
Yeah, they never show like where the pea soup comes from, unless that's you get exude that thing when you devolve.
It's Goomba Afterbirth.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was hoping for more of a
Reaction?
change when they
Yeah.
when they devolve him, but
Again, more big scenes or
Mm-hmm.
sets, I should say.
it's I think it's the same prison scene from above,
But it's
from
still-
before, but it's above. But it's a huge
Yeah.
building with athletes. But
This was
the bomb.
I do like the later reaction when everyone
Yeah.
sees it. They're
Right.
like, "Oh no!" More of this weird music.
Yep.
More Flintstones music. Repelling like it's a Van Helsing movie.
Yeah.
Or
I'm going to
Stephen
doubt
Sommers.
that any of this was scripted for John Leguizamo. That he kept doing it, and they're like, "All right, just keep recording, guys."
Yep.
The effects on these are pretty cool.
I'm
The little fireballs.
yeah. My guess is those are supposed to be the fireballs that Mario
Fire
can
flowers,
throw.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, what purpose does this apparatus serve that they're swinging on?
Prisoner delivery service, I guess. I don't know.
It's to get. It's a hero-sized escape route.
Right, pretty
Yep.
much. Yep, again. Yeah,
It's a good
Nice
visual
little
joke right there.
gags.
Yeah.
There are so many of these cars in this movie.
Yeah.
I do like the kitschy design of them though.
Yeah. Again, that guy that gets pulled away too is weird fetish leathers
Yeah.
too.
It's the 90s.
Yep.
Like I'm fairly obvious that like the club scene later is just a club in the 90s.
Probably, yeah.
90s club time.
Mm-hmm.
All of that
Apparently
makes
Mario
sense.
knows how to operate a multi-stick shift.
Yeah. From another dimension.
Yep.
Yep. I guess this was probably the 90s view of what electric cars would be too, eh?
Yeah. Bumper car technology at its finest.
It's almost Mad Max-ish at some of this.
Yeah.
The exposed engines and
Yeah.
Weird.
the
plows.
the size of them.
Yeah.
I gotta get back into that game. I haven't played that in a while.
Plumber alert. But yes, back to the Dragon's Milk. Ryan, what do you think of this beer?
I like it a lot. It's not often that I have Dragon's Milk, but I do like it. It's got just a wonderful flavor.
Mhm.
I do like bourbon barrel stuffs. I like my scotches and whiskeys and bourbons.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a good balance. Again, James, you were talking about the sweetness in here, and I think it's right where it should be for this kind of drink, and it's very good. Plus
Yeah, this isn't. I mean, I do enjoy this beer. I don't have it very often, maybe once or twice a year, but no, it's got a nice blend of flavors. It's definitely a beer that I think people either really enjoy or don't like at all.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, they do some variants on this. Like I've had
Yeah,
make
they
a
do.
raspberry version of this,
Mm-hmm.
and I've also seen / heard of a chili
Oh, I haven't
version
seen
of
that.
this one.
Really?
Yeah,
Those both sound interesting.
yeah.
The guy driving that purple car with like the lines of green stuff embedded in his
scales?
head really creeps me out.
Mm.
It really bothers me.
Classic car chase solution.
Yep.
Just shooting fireballs in the cars.
That seems effective.
Brakes in the car, despite the later
Yeah,
thing of
yeah,
there are no
so-
brakes.
So they were clearly hitting his car, the Mario vehicle, earlier with no
Yep.
response.
They're going through that prison backseat.
They also
where it's
drive
just-
through that fire 3 separate times.
Yep. A lot of explosions.
Yep.
Okay, so the glug 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 that they do throughout the movie
Yeah.
is supposed to be them going down the pipe.
The pipe sound.
That's the pipe sound.
Oh
That's-
no.
It took me hearing it 5 times and being like, what are they doing?
That's real bad, Max. That's real bad.
What, that I didn't immediately notice it?
No,
that's
is.
what they were going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they do it 4 times. Because I was just like, what is that?
What is this?
And this is probably, I don't know, watching this now probably like the 4th time I've seen this movie. And it wasn't until the last viewing, the pre-episode viewing, that I'm like, oh.
So this movie shares, you talked about Dread. This movie shares a plot sequence that's kind of like Dread too.
Yeah.
They're in the weird mega city thing, and then at some point they just hang out in the desert for a while and then go back.
Yep. That, if anything, the Judge Dredd movie does a lot of things bad. I mean,
this looks
removal
awful.
of the helmet being number 1.
Yeah.
But they try to do way too much.
Yeah, they show way too much in that movie.
Well, way too much is sort of like hitting on the what makes Judge Dredd. Like the whole cursed Earth thing, the Block Wars,
there's too many plot points in that movie.
Too many plot points and too many like nods to like, hey, this is a thing we're doing. It's from Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Right.
So
again, it's fan service without sincerity or ability. It just ends up, it's hollow pandering. He's just a head now.
Yeah. And her holding the snake.
Yeah, just what is going on?
she's a cultist of Thulsa Doom from Conan. Fisher Stevens walking into the mud is just a nice little. I'm sorry, we're not talking. We're just enamored by the dialogue.
The Indian spike here is just
unbelievable dialogue.
Yeah, it's something else.
How many? I mean, there were 4 separate scripts you said, and this is the one they picked.
Yeah, there are 4 versions of this movie,
and somehow that dialogue made it through.
Yeah. Right. Well, if you were watching closely during the opening credits, you had the when the I think it was the writers, so it was blank and blank, and then an ampersand with another name. And from what I understand about how movies are like credited, the first 2 names are listed with the word "and," were like the main writers of the movie.
Yep.
The ampersand means someone was brought in to massage it.
Okay.
I want to say her name is like Vivian or something like this. I can't remember, but her outfit in this is so stark from the surrounded muted gray tones. It really stands out. But I think it's a good way to show her the extravagance that the privileged get to enjoy in this Koopa world.
Right. I mean, that's what they're going for.
But
those Goombas, man.
The as a small nod to actual like Mario canon, I did appreciate that she was Daisy.
Yes, and not
Peach.
And not Peach, because her and Luigi are a thing.
Yeah.
So it's like someone looked deep enough to figure that out.
Peach has been introduced at this point.
Yeah.
But still, having that be Daisy. Well, Daisy makes more sense than someone named Peach in this.
Yeah.
Lena.
Sorry. Yeah.
The actress is Fiona Shaw.
Them evolved is like I enjoy the evolved versions of them.
So the question is why Koopa doesn't just evolve all of his goons? I mean, I can see that you probably need like the muscle, but having a bunch of just like smart every people, sounds like a...
I think it's because they overthrow him.
Yeah. Intelligence is not conducive to subservience.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
I would agree.
Indubitably.
Yeah. Math makes you smart. Math shows you smart.
Just make you...
Can you he advanced them already? Does this machine, if you put them in again, would it advance them further? Or does it just bring them to a theoretical evolutionary advance?
Right.
True.
How peculiar.
That's a terrible beard, by the way, too.
Oh, gosh. Bad goatee.
They're almost acting like they're in a rap battle right there.
Yeah.
Fisher Stevens' bleached eyebrows is just
I was just
weird.
noticing that.
Yeah. There's
Cooper
Hopper
wearing
in his scaled.
Yeah, I was gonna say it almost from far shots. It just looks like he's wearing a garbage bag.
Yeah. Well, it would belong with the rest of the trash in this movie.
Yeah,
Zing. GBBV,
going for the jugular
jokes.
from the Thorpe.
Yep.
I like her.
Spiky seat.
I like her weird
Flintstones dress.
No, her weird armpit hair esque jewels there.
Right.
Ooh. But Daisy's dress looks straight out of the Flintstones. And I feel like Vivian could be a villain in a Flintstones movie.
Yeah.
Just of like her connivingness and swarmy.
They've completely made Daisy look different at this point too. She doesn't look like the same person right
Agreed.
now.
Makeup will do that, I suppose. But yeah, the hair is different.
The hair is different. The
More
angle makes her look very odd.
Voluminous? I don't know.
Yeah.
Makeup shotgun.
Makeup shotgun.
Maybe she had a "I don't wear a bra" clause for this movie. That's how you get famous.
Put your shirt back on, please.
Is that not how you remember the Mario games? Is with a shirtless Luigi?
Shirtless Luigi.
So is
In the desert?
Gets there.
is the Luigi without a shirt on and the rainbow belt a nod to the gay community?
Maybe.
I
doubt it.
Like this is for you guys.
I don't know.
Also, the what are those called? Super scopes that they
Yes,
throw in here.
that's what they're called. I'm like, oh, I know exactly what those are.
Because the Super Scope came out right as this movie was coming out.
Right.
So then yes, this did come out post Super Nintendo.
Right.
'Cause the Super Scope was for the Super Nintendo.
Right.
I think this might be like the first year of the Super Nintendo then.
Dude, you guys had such good memories with the Super Nintendo.
Oh yeah. I love
Donkey
the
Kong
Super
Country,
Scope.
Killer Instinct. Get out of here.
And the weird Yoshi nod.
Yep. It is an impressive animatronic.
Yes.
I will say that. There's a lot of moving parts to it, which I can appreciate from a technical perspective.
Well, I mean, we've shown right away that and
he looks cute.
Yeah. The CGI capability at the earlier parts of the movie totally justifies using practical effects later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would, if this Yoshi would have been rideable size, I would have been down with it.
Right.
Honestly.
Like just bigger?
Just bigger. If they would have ridden a bigger version of this of Yoshi that looked like this, I would have bought into it. Because kind of like your shirt goes. If you are going to go live action, you do have to play with the design of things a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that this design for Yoshi looks dinosaur-like, but not terrifying.
Yeah, which that's a distinct difference between Yoshi and the other dinosaur creatures of Mario games.
Yep.
So the weird thing about the shirt I'm wearing, which I'll post a picture of it online, is the Yoshi has human hands. So it's like a Jurassic Park Velociraptor with the large tongue, but with human hands.
Yeah. And see, like I like this one because it
with
manages
fingernails
to hold to still have the design of both in a way.
Yeah.
So
I wish you would have done both those shots like Donna from the Parks and Rec.
Snake juice. I had an interesting thought, and I want your guys' opinion on something. Okay. So we talked about how maybe this may have been better to have been an animated movie, and how that had some difficulties as well.
Yeah.
But what about, and not necessarily like a live action animation mix via Roger Rabbit, a la Roger Rabbit. Oh, that was gross. Hopper,
that's a bad one.
Put that back. What about like a Jim Henson type approach
with puppets?
Yeah, like a lot more puppet oriented stuff.
Puppets? Like Labyrinth?
I was wondering, like more Labyrinth. That's like that. I wonder if this may have been better for that. I don't know.
If they would have done it in a fantasy style like Labyrinth with puppets, I think it probably still would have come off as a bad movie. I, however, think it would have more been likely to get a cult style following around it.
Yeah, Labyrinth with puppets works because there's only two actual human actors in that movie. David Bowie and oh gosh, name blanking on Sarah's actress name, Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly. So, but with this, like, the majority of the population of the Mushroom Kingdom has evolved into anthropomorphic humans,
Well,
for lack of a better.
My guess is what Ryan was going with there, though, is that you would have like, why? Why is this a thing?
I don't know
why. But my guess there would be if you would have done it in more of that puppet style, you would have had a human Mario, a human Luigi,
and a lot more of the populace
Daisy,
would be puppet type
creatures.
But, yeah, then you would have to be like, why is Daisy a human where everyone else is puppets?
To me, it's this. If you go with it, you just have to play with the idea that, like, okay, why does Clark Kent become Clark Kent when he puts the glasses on?
Fair enough.
You buy into it.
Right.
Yep.
Mario is so surreal that you have to kind of buy into that aspect anyway.
Yeah.
If you're accepting this, that there's actually a story behind Mario besides go right.
Go save this.
Right.
Go right and occasionally up.
Yeah. So here you go again. More exposition jump for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know if the rainbow belt is a nod towards the.
No, I was just making a joke.
Yeah,
because
I think it's
Leguizamo took his shirt off. So.
Yeah, oh.
What's with the weird like bone crunching noises?
I don't know.
They're moving their head with gusto.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Very corpulent.
Yeah.
I love that. Just corpulent, very corpulent.
There's the towers.
Yeah.
One of them being like half destroyed just is not very. I don't know. It just it feels
weird now.
Yeah.
Oh, look at them textures, dog, coming in on the window. Oof.
That rough CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah,
Don't
she
interrupt
does
them.
look entirely different.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Like that. I mean, I don't think it would look as cute if it was much bigger, but it would still have a cute like quality to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if the whole creature was scaled up, but the same relative proportions on its face, like eyes and everything,
there
it
was
would
a
still
lot of roundness around the muzzle.
right.
Yeah.
At that point, you'd wind up with something very like How to Train Your Dragon, kind of, right?
Yeah.
Yep. There's a weird Statue of Liberty thing going on there.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
this dump truck scene reminds me a lot of Soylent Green.
do you like how there's the cocking noise when he puts the that on there?
Did not notice that, but it is nice.
But as warned, now that Iggy and Spike are smart, intelligence is the enemy of authoritarianism and dictatorships, fascism, all those other fun things we like to hate.
Yeah.
I don't know why this. Oh, it just suffocates him, maybe.
Yep.
Oh, and then wrenched ahead.
Is that
so
Hunk
weird.
from Resident Evil?
Possibly.
Like, I mean, I just don't. I don't understand the design decisions around most of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you look,
Like
them
them
years
putting
in the,
the mask
future,
on?
you'll have Tank Girl, which I can see a lot of Tank Girl in this movie.
But I mean,
Or
if you were to ever
Other way
take two
around.
properties and go, hey, you know what? You know what? Two properties should have the similar aesthetic: Mario Brothers and Tank Girl. You'd get kicked out of whatever room you were in.
Right.
I just.
yeah, dystopian Mario.
Yeah.
The constant eruption of sparks out of every moving vehicle in this movie is great.
Yeah.
I also remember these color choices irritating me.
The yellow is.
Yeah.
It's just ketchup and mustard. Is what's going
Yeah.
on here. All right. So again, watch.
This isn't Cyrax and Sector from Mortal Kombat.
Oh, I love that cut. Thank you, Max. That makes me
Yeah.
happy. I
Well
knew we
done.
were friends for a reason.
Again, crashing for no
Mhm.
apparent reason.
It's like
Yep.
that guy driving his bike off the thing. Maybe we'll see it here.
Yep, just a '90s club.
It's an overhead shot of the dance floor where much of the group is dancing in unison, and they all do that super freaky head shake at the same time. It's really alarming to me, and I don't like it. It's used effectively in a lot of movies, like Jacob's Ladder, and actually the remake of House on Haunted Hill. One of the scarier scenes in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it bothers me. It's always bothered me.
You call this a '90s nightclub? As someone
Right, what? There it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
What the hell, man? Why?
As
Why?
someone watches a decent amount of Star Trek, this looks like a Star Trek club.
Okay,
also.
yeah, I'll give you that.
The outfits in this
Oh
bar.
yeah. No, this isn't Mario. This is the Gothic Castle.
Yeah. This is a children's movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Why are we here?
Yeah. I don't know why I enjoy this so much.
Oh wow, Hammer Brothers in the background.
Oh
over
yeah,
there.
there you go.
They're that is a small little detail that they went to great lengths to put in.
The Hammer Brothers thing?
Yeah, that
Actually,
is in the background.
Yep.
On that large ass street set.
in the earlier shots when they first come into this dimension, you can see that in a couple of those shots as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that street is the Monarch Theater.
That is the
of Mario Brothers.
That street is the Monarch Theater from Mario Brothers. For those of you who don't know what that means, go watch the 1989 Batman movie.
Yeah.
Man, Bertha doesn't waste any time.
Well, that brings up an interesting discussion point.
Bertha?
For no, well, she is corpulent, very corpulent. But open sets like cityscapes or closed sets like this and Batman. Which do you prefer?
I prefer.
Go ahead.
It depends on what you're going for.
Yeah.
In a movie like Batman should be to me, I want an open set.
Right.
Really?
I want that cityscape. I want the feel of a realistic environment.
Okay.
In a movie that is supposed to be ridiculous or surreal or feel very small, I would want a closed set like this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the exact opposite. In a movie that has, like, in Batman movie, I don't want an open set. I know, to me, Gotham City is it's got a very much a style to it. So when you have it just be like, it's Chicago or Philly or New York, that makes it feel less Batman to me. So I want that, like, we always rip on the Monarch Theater from the Tim Burton Batman.
Yeah.
But I very much prefer the visual design of that movie to the Nolan ones or the Snyder ones. Because it feels...
And I'm going to jump on you again
comical.
before you get in, Ryan, real quick. And just
cool.
provide the counterpoint of, to me, that makes those movies feel fake.
It's a movie.
But it feels fake. It feels, it takes me out of the idea that that I'm watching a story.
Okay.
Because it feels so fake to me.
Okay. But do you feel like that in sci-fi movies?
No, because those are not, I'm looking for something completely different out of my sci-fi movie.
Okay.
Like for Blade Runner, in a lot of ways, Blade Runner spends a lot of time establishing open cityscapes without actually having open cityscapes to use those smaller but large sets like this. Mm-hmm. Again, here's a weird song and a nice 90s nod to having music. So before I go any further, Ryan?
Yeah. No, I mean, maybe a cop-out of an answer, but obviously it depends. I mean... Whatever the choice is, do you do it effectively? And what are you going for with the movie that you're making? Like to James, to your point, if it's a closed set and it's so obviously so that you're just like, oh, that's these are people doing their job on a set with this shitty backdrop, and I'm not in my movie anymore.
Yes,
and I don't know. It depends on how it's used, which isn't a super specific answer.
That kind of tails to the whole like Marvel versus DC thing. Like DC very, very rarely uses actual real world cities.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and when it does, it's kind of just it's very jarring, as compared to Marvel, where it's like you're in New York or DC or wherever. Whereas opposed to DC, it's always Gotham City, Central City, Opal City, where they're like it's kind of based off of certain real world cities, but it's like it's its own character kind
of. And see, I think that I guess in the modern movie sense here, again, we're listening to this weird music as they run around and deal with stuff.
The Condiment
We've
Brothers
gone
at
off
this
the
point.
rails.
We've gone completely off target on this movie here.
Whatever.
I think that with modern movie making, DC should be using open cityscapes, but has the capability through CGI
Yes.
to modify those cityscapes as to still feel real, but still have that aesthetic and look that they're going for.
What was it? Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I recently saw a little video where like all of that cityscape is CGI.
Right.
Nothing is real.
And you watch that movie, and I have criticisms of that movie, but one of the criticisms one of the things I don't criticize about that movie is the look.
It looks like a movie set in the
20s
30s or 20s or 30s or whatever the decade
and it
is.
looks like a real city, and it feels like a real city, and everything else. And I think that you can do that. I'm not going to fault old movies for having closed sets anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This is a weird, again, another large set that's super weird, but it just doesn't. There's no reason to do that in modern movie making unless you're looking for a very, very, very specific idea of what you want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, I think you can still use the open set and have a movie feel like, particularly like Batman Begins, I think very much still feels like Gotham City. It's dirty, it's gringy. That might just be because it has the Narrows based off the Kowloon Walled City and stuff like that. It's still like a Gotham's very corrupt, but like Dark Knight, that doesn't feel like Gotham City. It's Chicago, but
yeah, I think what I don't understand the gun here. Why he's holding a gun phone?
He's gonna shoot him through the TV. The monitor.
We saw in the cars that's like their mouse. And this would make more sense if it was like the Duck Hunt gun.
Right. Yeah, I don't get it.
But that was a very odd scene of him ordering
just
pizza.
ordering.
I mean, later, there's like, your pizza's here, sir.
Blah blah.
Yeah. But what are you gonna do?
Oh, Condiment Brothers are back. I lied.
And there's 39 minutes left.
Oh gosh. That long, lengthy discussion about open versus closed sets brought to you by Dragon's Milk.
Yeah. I still have more I can say on that, but I'll hold that over for the next episode.
Maybe bring it up after the wonderful mid-credit scene that Max has just educated us on.
This is so weird of a plan. We're just going to freeze out dinosaurs, which now
it makes sense.
Wouldn't matter because we've discovered that dinosaurs are most likely warm-blooded.
I'm not even trying to apply sense. Fahrenheit, apparently, yeah, they're still using the same shitty measurement system over here too. But no, I'm not going to make sense of the evolutionaries of this, of these,
like Mario's.
Yeah,
like Mario's.
Gonna get out of these suits.
Get all these suits and into more
okay, so
different ones.
They're gonna do it again. Listen to it.
Wow. They didn't even try.
Yeah.
I like this scene.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but I like this scene.
So something that's not explained in the de-evolve scenes earlier on is when the hell did the Goombas get like 6 feet taller?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I assume that, round-headed ones are Goombas. Are the lizard-headed ones supposed to be like the Troopas, or should be the Koopas and the Paratroopas?
I don't know. I think it's just based off of the idea that that there's different kinds of species that evolved into these humanoid creatures.
I'm trying to apply too much logic to this movie.
Also, they just use the word proletariat.
I like Koopa's tie, yeah.
It looks like a bug.
It does look like a bug.
That
scarab.
Yeah.
All right, so this the actress playing Lena, she's also Aunt Petunia in the Harry Potter movies, which is something we recently discovered.
That was a good casting for Aunt Petunia. She got that nice high cheekbones where she's kind of snooty,
Snooty Petunia. Kiss that crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Ding.
I like how some of the Koopas have glasses.
Yeah.
Or Goombas have glasses.
Now what are we gonna do in this? So they're packed in an elevator here with what, maybe half a dozen Goombas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This is so weird.
So, fun little fact. So this music in the playing in the background, the polka-y thing, is by Weird Al's father.
What?
What?
Yeah.
That's a deep pull, Max.
I only know this because I had the subtitles on earlier.
So
this
how
is
did the
Frank- this
subtitles
is-
tell you that?
It said Frankie Yankovic playing. I'm like, what? And Weird Al's father, Frankie Yankovic, he was a big like polka person.
Huh.
That is the single most interesting thing I've ever learned while doing this show with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, holy shit.
Dude, that's blowing my damn mind.
That's super weird.
Yeah.
Fucking Toad. Ugh. These watching these Goombas
That's
makes
clearly not the same plate of things that he brought in when
me, right.
at the beginning.
Yoshi lines.
Shot. That's the stunt meat. But these Goombas just make me feel unclean.
Did
Ugh.
Did I possibly break you guys when I dropped my music knowledge on you?
Yeah,
That was weird.
I'm still processing that.
Another outfit change.
Yep.
Mhm. I
The
wish-
the lighting in this room is very awkward.
Mm. Yeah, it's like one light, but it's shining off of a ton of different brass surfaces before it gets into the room.
Yeah.
It's a very low back on that dress.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a heck of a dress.
Probably makes using the restroom pretty easy. She keeps a knife in her butt.
Mm-hmm. A good old butt knife.
Yeah.
She got those weird Alan Moore finger ring things.
There's the weird Yoshi reference here with
Yep.
the long,
The
strange tongue. I like how she's like, "Yep, you got it, Yoshi. See ya."
Okay, bye. Damn, dog.
Yeah.
Y'all can't be stabbing Yoshis.
Yep.
Apparently, Yoshi threw her shoe back up.
Yeah.
Run.
This is
It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so just
So
ridiculous.
much of this movie is just
Or
bizarre.
the weird shoe
And then they do
covers.
this? Why?
Because they're cool with it.
Because the mouths on they're all
Like they just abrupt, like, we weren't dancing.
ugh,
I just don't see how you go from mushrooms with feet
to these
to this.
monstrosities.
Plate of cauliflower.
Oh, Toad.
Don't steam tomatoes and feed them to people.
Don't ever eat tomatoes.
No, you're incorrect on that.
Oh, I will fight you on this.
Goddamn
That and
monster
bell
Max.
peppers. Bell peppers are the devil.
Wow. Oh no, Toad.
Oh, the vegetables.
I like how he's just like, guess I'm on fire now.
Yeah.
No, he's still playing his harmonica.
You
At
think
the
this is-
bottom, the base of the fire, Daisy, the base of the fire.
You think that's how they got the idea for the movie Backdraft?
Oh!
You're going to jail for that.
I like that he's blowing the smoke behind them there. I think it's like a
smoke screen.
yeah.
Those are some high-heeled boots he's wearing.
Yes.
And I'm back to the super weird father storyline.
With a huge set.
Yep.
We're going to devolve him, but also bring his throne over to him.
Yeah. And his hat.
Yeah.
I suppose it's called a crown when it's a king, right?
I suppose so.
This booger is your father.
Yep. Man, I was sick a couple weeks ago, and like that drooping down
Right.
thing of fungus was what I had to deal with one day.
Didn't know you were throwing away royalty, did you?
So that's why we recorded this episode this weekend as opposed to last weekend.
The great wisdom, Luigi.
Yep.
Everybody loves to dance. Bippity boppity, bippity boppo.
Yeah.
It still speaks to Bob Hoskins' just talent that everything he says in this movie still feels really sincere. All his mannerisms, everything, he just feels sincere.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Bob Hoskins did not know he was playing Mario in a video game adaptation until his son told him that he was playing a character from a video game adaptation. Which...
This is really, really crappy on Luigi's part.
Oh, God, yeah.
Why would you do this?
He's like, oh, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
I'm the
it's
updraft.
fine. You can...
Oh, wait, no.
Yeah.
Like, it would make sense if it was established that Luigi's a big, like, practical joker.
Yeah,
for
but
this
he's
movie.
not.
But it's not. He's always been, like, the sincere kind. I mean, they're both, like, very sincere characters, you know.
Right.
Luigi's more accepting of the fantastic.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
He's always telling Mario to believe.
Believe and trust
Yeah.
the fungus and stuff. But he's never like, hey, you're going to die now if you don't.
Right.
Yeah.
From my practical joke.
Nothing like a practical joke that murders the person that raised you.
Right.
Yep. I don't know. Is that Yoshi? I can't tell if that Yoshi's CGI or is a very, very detailed animatronic.
It's the latter, certainly.
Yeah, you're right. The lighting's not, you can't get the
Yeah.
lighting right.
There are times where it's not clear to me if it's stop motion or not, but it's not CGI.
That's an animatronic.
yeah, right
Yeah.
there.
But I think when he's walking,
Yeah.
Yoshi, you
Y'all
gotta
don't-
protect your neck.
Is that your second Wu-Tang reference in the show?
So
At least.
multiple.
No, that's like my
That's
fourth.
your
Wu-Tang.
thing, yeah,
that's,
that's kinda
like that is entry
ongoing.
number 1 on the GBBV drinking game. Is Max references Wu-Tang Clan?
Use the mouse.
Yeah.
You know what she has to do?
Mouse gun.
Because she's in Devo 4.
Oh,
She
boy.
has to whip it good.
Bum, 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 bum.
I'm shaking my head at James right now. I have been
That's
for
a
a
good
while
joke.
now.
So they've just been hanging out here for like God knows how long.
Yeah.
Except we're not.
Yeah. We're doing real well right now.
Oh, you don't need to bend over that much, Luigi.
Like,
They really committed to this whole like fungus is everywhere kind of thing.
Yeah, they had to spend a lot on fungus.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mushroom.
I'm
So-
going to pull this off because it's trying to talk to us.
Yeah. I mean, they could have done the spots on the mushroom. That would have been nice, but oh well. But as far as like spending money on this movie had a $48 million budget in 1992 dollars.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and had it made $20 million.
Oh, no.
So
Ouch.
as we're recording this episode, this movie is going to get a Blu-ray release in the UK in a couple months, but no word if we're gonna be able to get it over here.
Why?
I don't know.
Who's
I mean, part of me
behind
was hoping that I was
Are
good.
they getting punished for Brexit?
Right.
Probably, but
punished
I
from
will
something.
say that had it been available today on Blu-ray, you would each be receiving a copy of this on Blu-ray from me as a gift.
No.
Oh yeah.
I'd accept that. But there are still 30 minutes of this movie left.
Yeah. Meet this turd.
Yeah. Ceiling turd. Ceiling turd, my friends. Friends, ceiling turd.
These are New
Roof snot.
Yorkers. They have 3 hockey teams for some reason.
Yeah.
Well, your daughter was telling me how you're such a fun guy, Dad.
I do like that Luigi just goes for it. He's all
Yeah.
like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Like,
I want to bone your daughter.
yeah.
I like how Luigi and Mario both have like different shaped hats based off of their like age bracket they're in.
Yes.
Mario taking Danielle to WrestleMania is a nice little touch.
Again with the Koopa T-Rex arms.
Yep.
And the super tall
Tiny
Goombas.
ho mammals.
Yeah. She's not a mammal.
Koopa's thing of like, I'll meet you at the playground after school it just makes me chuckle.
Yeah.
Couldn't
I
you
feel
have
like
said
Koopa's hair
Asian
was
closing.
meant to be like the spikes on
yeah.
Bowser's shell.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yep.
But
Now she's the Red Lady from Game of Thrones.
I want to be the guy who just sits to sit in front of that door all day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I got door duty.
Yeah. Why with the spikes?
because I don't know. I'm giving up.
You know, in a different movie, I would actually very much like this weird fungus theme they do for the sets.
Yeah,
I think
just
it's kind of cool.
not this one.
No, yeah.
So all right. So Mario's known for having overalls.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about his non-overall, whatever he has going on, their costume?
I think it's an acceptable in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
For this
still
movie.
like visually still kind of like
It's
has
immediate,
the same.
Yeah,
There's enough blue on it that it looks like overalls.
right.
Quotation fingers.
Yep.
But I'm not like upset. Like I'm not going online and gonna
Quotey digits. Yeah.
complain about it. But
It's to me, it's an acceptable Hollywoodification of the original design.
yeah,
It's immediately identifiable as Mario.
yeah. They're very good at sign language.
Yeah.
Here we have all these New York gals,
You know, for being
and now
someone,
the most stereotypical New York gal ever is about to say something.
right. Fucking Goombas, man.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Same composer. Also, he did the music for Forrest Gump.
Huh.
As opposed
That's
to
the
any of
Goomba
the
man,
other
Yeah.
mattresses in this room.
Yeah, only the Goomba mattress will
I
work.
feel like Mario's gonna be very sad that he has to leave his tools behind.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's part of him he's leaving.
Oh, Monkey Wrench, I'm sorry I'm leaving you behind. He's gesturing with his crescent wrench.
Yeah.
The
I like
Goomba art.
the Goomba in the background.
Yep.
I would put that on my wall.
You guys, I caught a fly. Check this out.
Yeah.
Is it a corpse fly?
Yeah.
Corpse fly.
Carrion fly.
Sorry. Yeah, okay.
Same
You
thing.
got me, Thorpe.
Same thing.
You got me.
Yeah.
The one name is technically the correct.
Why are they handcuffed together? What purpose does that serve?
Hmm.
The two of you that want to escape now have to escape together.
Right.
Because they're moving back and forth.
All dancing.
Yep.
And now he has a walkie-talkie for...
Where's my pizza?
Yeah.
But you'll notice they're keeping up with this whole germophobia there. He's got
Yeah,
the,
he has the
like
hanky around
Kleenex or
the-
something.
That's a weird addition that they added to him.
Yeah.
Again, why?
Why?
So now we have an F-Zero soundtrack going on.
Yeah. And a camera that doesn't follow what they're doing at all in this pipe.
Nope, just
And there are a couple quick shots that demonstrate just how slowly they are moving.
Yes.
yeah. That one.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they had to do the stereotypical Ice World level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, this movie exists and is a thing that happened, but Nintendo didn't want to release rights to have Mario and Luigi show up in Wreck-It Ralph because they were concerned about the quality of the movie.
Well, maybe it's because of this.
Because of this. Yeah, that's a
Probably,
good
yeah.
point.
And the animated adventures of Link. Is that Legend of Zelda 2?
Just marginally familiar.
I think there's a like an I think it's Legend of Zelda 2, where it's more of a platformer than a.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's bad.
Gotcha, Goombas.
This also is a very 90s scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
That's true.
that was a small effect there that I appreciate, though, like the metal boots creating sparks on the pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a world where there are no brakes.
Right.
Yeah. Except they have brakes.
Yeah.
Ugh, bad
Why
green screen.
good?
Haloing.
Oh no! More bikes, people. No one. I guess they should just outlaw bikes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lizards can't ride bikes.
Right.
Nope.
That's the thing.
Oh no! We fell through this plate glass and are immediately destroyed.
Yep. Ugh. This is the worst meet cute ever.
Koopa gotcha.
Your pizza's here.
That's like a real-time pizza delivery. It's like 40 minutes between when he orders it and when he gets it in the movie.
Yeah. I can appreciate
The
that.
Goombas are dancing again.
Huh.
Like he has to say that so they establish it for why it happens later.
Defeated
in the movie.
by a shoe. That's a new one.
Who throws a shoe?
Honestly. Like how there's one that has a shoe, a Goomba with a shoe on his head.
Yep. It's like
Defeated by a foot ornament.
they got those props. And they were like, we're gonna get our money's worth
Yeah.
out of these shoes.
We're going to destroy our sets. We're going to defeat villains.
Wait, does that gun have to pump like a super soaker? What's happening? Does it have to build
Maybe.
pressure?
I'm not wearing no rainbow belt.
Like he's like, here's my tool belt. He's like, no, use my tool belt. Like, what purpose did that exchange serve?
Right.
He lost a number of his wrenches during the escape scene. He barred he barred the door
Right.
and
No,
put
I
that
get that.
wrench
So
in
he's
the thing.
he's still in mourning.
Yeah.
He needs a full clip.
Okay. But that shot right there
Reload.
establishes that there are in fact no tools in that tool belt. Hands of steel that woman has.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna hold this necklace in my mouth because that's the best place to put it.
She trained in the Clamps School of Clamping.
Railing death.
And they kind of go for like,
Yeah,
you think
like-
that's it?
Yeah. You see her hair turn white.
Yeah,
And
Little
she
Bride of
like-
Frankenstein going on here.
yeah.
Yep.
You're like, oh, I guess okay.
Which I guess the red is the color of the bride's hair.
Yeah,
Thanks, Guillermo del Toro's exhibit in L.A.
yeah. This is an
Owns that pictures of.
that is an incredibly intelligent play by Mario.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Oh
to,
yeah.
to pull the
Pull the shoelace out.
shoelace out.
Yeah, that's great.
That's why they had the third writer on this movie.
Yeah, they got stuck at the shoelace
Yeah.
scene.
How do we fool Koopa at the end? Ooh, I'm smoking a cigarette. In a PG
I've been
movie.
smoking the cigarette for 3 scenes now.
Yeah,
It's a weird shot. I mean,
Yeah.
I like what they're trying to do. It's just, I think it would be better if it was a backlit scene with her running towards the camera.
yeah, I'd
The
agree with
outline.
that.
Like the silhouette coming in.
Yes, as opposed to going away. It
I
just
agree.
looks odd.
Concur.
More Blade Runner
Yeah.
cars.
It must be hard to find someone on the only road in this city.
Right.
Yeah. Everyone else is on the off-world colonies.
Yeah.
A chance to begin again in a land of adventure.
Blue sparks look cool.
Yeah,
I will.
Is that how
Double
they got
Dash.
the idea for Mario Kart from this movie?
for Double Dash. Yeah.
Yep. Damn it! I had the same thing written down. That's my favorite of the Mario Kart games.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I love this reaction. He's like, oh, okay.
People are afraid of this thing.
Yeah.
I like that dramatic close-up to Dennis Hopper's eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know what this thing does, but I'm gonna wind it.
A threatening wind.
I like that he just sets it down instead of, throwing it.
Throwing it.
Yeah.
I like how so innocuous it is compared with the set.
Right.
of its simple design of just like 2 white dots as
Right.
opposed to something outrageous.
Yeah.
Mammal, mammal, mammal. Murmur, murmur, murmur.
Yay, fungus. Just growing those tubes.
Like the cost to even make that little fungus tunnel thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mario, you need to jump over Koopa and land on the axe.
Yeah. Whee!
She should turn it off halfway through just as a joke. Watch him face first into the wall.
My cigarettes.
Mama needs her smokes. Oof.
Yeah. And
I do like the effect of her being like fossilized.
Yeah,
against
that's
the
pretty
wall.
cool.
Yeah.
Ah!
Ah-ha.
Luigi,
And the
that's
jaw
fairly
opens
grim.
up.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Now that's more of like some 80s sci-fi effects that I expect from this movie.
Yeah. John Carpenter would be proud of those
Yes.
effects.
Yes. Or some 80s adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Fooled you.
That seems like a design flaw.
Yeah, right.
This doesn't look bad.
Yeah, that is something we both talked about before this movie. Is this nice dissolve effect? It stands up 25 years later.
For being 25 years old, this dissolve effect
Yeah.
is not bad.
It doesn't look as jarringly bad as a lot of the other CG effects, for
No.
sure.
Mm-hmm. My dad was watching X-Men Apocalypse.
This
and
in particular.
I managed to
I'm sorry
catch the
about that.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my dad has questionable taste in movies, as you guys know. But I managed to walk through the room while the scene of the city dissolving was happening. And, it was a much larger scale,
Sure.
but it was the same quality of it as far as the particulates go. So,
And there with those blue sparks, those are just kind of like the drawn on
Scapelli!
area.
Yeah.
You were just there, Daniela. You know who that is.
Yeah, like,
You were expecting him.
yeah.
Look at how tall those Goombas are.
Yeah.
Give me that super scope.
So from human to Geico commercial to monkey.
Yes.
I do like how they went like through the stages as opposed to just human to monkey.
Right,
There's
right.
a nice little.
There's a
touch
middle
to it.
point there.
I give these movies way too much credit.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, the monkey's funny. Yeah, he's cute.
Needs dental care.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know he's a mob, because his underling calls him boss.
Yeah.
No one calls their boss boss.
I do occasionally. Full disclosure. What?
Bad
Trust the
CGI.
fungus thing. I just.
So how is the real king able to still control fungus across dimensions?
He
I
is
wonder.
the fungus.
He
I don't
is
know.
the fungus.
It's like.
It's a
like,
hive mind.
No, it's like Clayface. The less questions you ask, the better it is worth.
Okay.
Considering there are 4 clay faces, sure.
Why?
This guy.
Yeah.
See, breaks. They are a thing.
Yep.
It is a nice.
Only when bombs are involved.
It is a
Yeah.
nice little touch that the bombs are so little, like just slow and plodding.
Yeah.
Like this movie. There's still probably 15 minutes left of this movie.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh God, so weird and scary to me. I don't
Ryan,
like it.
I'm going to be randomly texting you images of toads for the foreseeable future
Oh, I can't
in
wait.
the middle of the night.
Yeah, Toad. Dancing time.
I've
Now
always wanted to learn how to play accordion.
Now, isn't this one of the tunes lifted from the game?
No, this is
Is this still the
is
Daddy
from
Yankovic?
yeah, Daddy Yankovic from the
Papa Yanka?
Papa Yanka.
That's a motion from the noise or from the show. That show. The sound that he makes while he's flying right there is the Mario 3 flying in the Tanuki suit sound. Blows himself up.
You want to bet that was just shot upside down?
Yeah.
I will bet you a beer on that.
Yeah.
See, I was expecting more of this to happen earlier on when
Some of
Dennis
that's
Hopper got de-evolved.
right.
Yeah.
That's really scary looking.
Yeah.
Reebok.
Yeah, there
Which
was
is
a
a
lot of
weird-
shameless product placement in this movie.
Yeah.
Not like Man of Steel amount, but a good amount.
There's that bucket of stuff.
Yeah. Reminds me of something you'd see in like a steel foundry.
Right.
Or
A lot of the
Yeah.
physics don't align there, which I know.
Oh, really?
Obviously.
Yeah.
But like
With their
there's
fucking bullet bill powered shoes.
well, there's the really long slow-mo shot of Koopa being launched directly straight up,
Yeah.
and it's drawn out fairly long, but then the next shot he's flying to the side and winds up in this fucking bucket again.
I do like the dinosaur Koopa. He doesn't look bad for the year this was shot in.
Yeah. And that's practical effects for the most part, except for, there.
Well, yeah, the last couple scenes were all.
Look, he's got hair he's got skin like the hair he had.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay,
Who
that
knows?
looks bad, but when he was
T1000.
when he was in the little mill thing, that looks okay.
Yeah.
Now he's just the Goomba juice, like a Jamba juice, but with Goombas.
Oh,
Ugh. Yay! Yay! You murdered someone in front of us! Yay!
Regicide is okay.
Yeah.
Also, yes.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yep. I like the click your heels together.
yeah.
Yeah. And the weird music again.
It's so.
So I'm confused by what the implication is for the technology on these boots. Is it that they hover? Or are we supposed to believe that they create such a force that you're just launched from your source to your destination in one just like...
They launch
the
you and then
ladder.
they slowly bring you down.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's a combination of the two.
Yeah.
man, they are prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were ready.
The the proletariat are prepared for the.
Dancing time.
Yep.
The Goombas just want to dance.
The Goomba Conga.
Imagine a world
Kinda
which is
Goomba.
undone by accordion music.
Right.
And then he just inexplicably changes back.
Mm.
Now that Koopa's not around anymore.
Is that Max von Sydow? No.
It
Nope,
was hot
nope.
in there.
It's the guy who plays RoboCop? Peter Weller?
Peter? No, he's not. No.
You didn't get that old that fast.
Yeah.
Peter Weller aged 30 years since the 80s.
I have the power.
Power.
Somewhere.
She's right
Neil
next to
deGrasse
her.
Tyson is like,
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
yes, I want to find someone whose mouth opens when they talk.
Yeah. I was actually surprised that that Luigi didn't stay.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, it's not like he's got yes, it's him and Mario, but they don't really show that the two of them have like they're brothers.
Yeah.
And he raised him, but with the way that Mario looks over him, you think that the situation here would have almost flipped of him being
Luigi, you need to stay in Mushroom Kingdom.
like, yeah,
This girl loves you.
yeah, exactly. That's where I expected this to go,
Yeah.
and him
But
be
it-
like,
it-
"I'll
it-
always love you, brother."
Yeah. It
You know?
makes more sense for the final scene of the movie.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, even at the final scene, you could have the two of them show up and be like, "Mario,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay with Daisy.
you'll never know what happened."
She'll need
Yeah.
help clipping Toad's toenails.
Like the Lena statue or skeleton.
Yeah. Bye, Yoshi.
Bye, Yoshi. You've never met either of them, but
Right.
okay.
Yeah. And you're really slow, so
Right.
somehow he's been coming here the entirety of the rest
Right.
of the movie.
Yep.
That's why they had 40 minutes of movie so Yoshi could show up.
Yeah.
Not a bad effect for the time of Mario reaching back through.
Hey, Toad.
What up, brah?
So, if someone gets devolved into a Goomba, can they be revolved into a
Maybe
Into a Humba?
dude.
I think
a
so.
Huma?
You,
a Mojo Nixon.
you'd assume so, right?
Yeah.
3 weeks later,
3 weeks later.
miserable as fuck, wearing the same clothes as the opening scene.
You
Literally
stop-
the same clothes as the opening scene.
Yeah.
More like John Leguizamo.
John Lego, I'm tucking my t-shirt into my belt.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, Max.
That's
you
even
killed me
more
with that.
uncomfortable now.
That you
told-
realize what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, it's a tough achievement, but the actress playing Daisy is the worst acted part in this entire movie. 100%.
Yeah, I'll
100%.
I'll agree.
Yep, Iggy and Spike, Koopa, Mario, Luigi, everyone.
Lena, yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
all of them.
What happens to Iggy and Spike? Do they just leave? Like they run away after they show her they show Daisy as his father.
Mario, Luigi, Mario.
Yes.
Yeah, they just kind of get written off.
Yep.
Toad, Daniela, Bertha,
Oh
the
my
King.
goodness. Ugh.
Goomba Goomba Goomba. I like that they didn't even bother putting numbers next to people.
Yeah, none 1 through
How
5.
did they keep them
Except
separate
the
on
reporters
set?
have numbers,
Yeah.
and the Japanese businessmen
Well,
have
that's
numbers.
that's what's coming up.
Someone was named Egon, and you mentioned a Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis was
Connection.
offered to direct this movie, but he was like, nah, because he was apparently he was a big fan of the video game series.
Okay.
That makes sense. R.I.P.
So-
Harold Ramis.
Why? Again with this music.
This was the first thing on the credits. I skipped over the name, but by someone named Roxanne.
Yeah, I just don't.
Word is she does not have to put on
the red light.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I was thinking thinking the same thing, Ryan.
Oh no! And now we have. How long is this until the mid-credit scene? Max?
I don't know.
Is it before this song ends?
Probably. Yeah.
I hope so.
Well, look, there's nothing. There's no other words at the. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
All right. So while we're waiting for this mid-credit scene, view again, brew again. Ryan.
Oh no. Oh well. All right. Brew again. Yeah. I like Dragon's Milk quite a bit. Again, it's rare that I have this, but I do enjoy it very much. I like this drink a lot. Again, for the bourbon barrel stuff, that's more my wheelhouse, as it were. But mostly from an academic perspective, I might watch this movie again. There are a lot of parts that are just weird. It's so disjointed and not aligned with the source material in so many weird ways. I don't know. I would watch it again sooner than I'd watch some of the other movies we've endured. But what are you pointing at, Max? What do you
Second assistant directors.
got? Second. Does that become an exponent at that point?
I
Like the
don't
fourth?
know. Either way, it's 4.
But yeah, I don't know. And again, the weird head shaking things that happen only twice are really jarring and unsettling to me.
I did not notice them either time.
Ugh,
I mean, like
really
through all
weird.
my previous viewings of this movie.
yeah.
It was the first when Lena does it, but really it's the dance scene at the club that really is bizarre to me. But anyway, Mr. Thorpe.
Yeah, I'd brew again. Dragon's Milk falls into kind of a weird territory for me. Like I said, because I'm not a big bourbon barrel fan.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that this falls into. It's too heavy to be a summer beer,
Definitely.
but it's too light in some ways to be a real winter beer. It falls into an in between period. So I mean, we're sitting in February and it's been
Yeah.
warmer. So
Yeah.
like this beer does feel right now.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a lot other beers. There are a lot of other beers that I would drink in the winter before I would grab for Dragon's Milk.
We talk words.
Yeah, I will agree with that. Like, I like this beer in November, just when it's like turning cold.
Yeah. Yep.
Like for me, this is particularly like I could have done this. This is a the Wednesday before Thanksgiving beer.
Okay.
Like, I don't really enjoy going out that night,
Yeah.
but it is a nice night for staying in and having one of these.
All right, so real quick, so the creatures category, Yoshi Koopa, Creature Goombas, designed blah blah, Patrick Tatopoulos. The Tatopoulos name, weirdly enough, is Matthew Broderick's last name in the Godzilla
Oh yeah,
Oh, really?
Nick,
Yeah.
It's
they call him the worm guy.
Yeah, it's Totopoulos. That's what he
Yep.
always says.
Yep.
All right, sorry.
Looking at worms from Chernobyl.
Yeah. Now, I think I'm kind of with you,
Frankie
Ryan.
Yankovic.
Frankie
Sorry.
Yankovic, yeah. I would, I'd view this again from a purely academic standpoint.
Right.
Yeah.
Skywalker sound.
Dinosaur.
But I don't, like you said, I'd watch this before a lot of other movies we've watched.
Yeah.
Including that Ravenous movie that we continually...
No, I think I'd watch Well, I don't know. It might be a dead heat with me.
Ravenous is, I think, it's better. Ravenous is better shot than this movie. There's some nice panoramic scenescapes, but as James says, no. Oh, here we go. So, Japanese businessman meeting with someone.
What?
Why?
So yeah,
How
Iggy
have
and
I
Spike
gone?
escape to the real world and are approached by Japanese businessmen to make a movie based off of their.
My mind is swirling right now,
So
Max.
that's weird.
What have you
because
done?
This release is dedicated to Bob Hoskins. So, anyway,
Moving on.
that's one of the first movies we watched in which people are credited with being in the movie before they're actually shown in the movie.
Yeah,
Because the two Japanese businessmen are credited, but they haven't shown up yet.
yeah. That
Wow, I cannot believe I didn't know about that end credit scene.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know of an earlier post-credit scene in a movie.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Dude.
Can you think of an earlier post-credit scene than that?
No, actually. You're killing me with all this stuff today, Max. Holy crap.
There's a lot more to Super Mario Brothers
yeah,
than and it's on YouTube of all things.
Yeah,
Jeez,
yeah.
God.
So did they just give up the rights to this movie and not care that it's on YouTube or something?
I don't know, because I think it's one of those just like universally panned movies.
Yeah.
That the studio probably doesn't see the reason to go after people
Any
pirating
unauthorized use, right?
Yeah.
any unauthorized use. Like, so I have a RiffTrax copy of this movie, as I said earlier, and it was $10, and it's one of the few ones where it's the audio embedded into the movie file. So it's as opposed to just the commentary track,
Yeah.
you get
Right.
the actual movie with the audio, which is why it's like $10
Right.
as opposed to like
Yeah.
$3 or $4 that they usually are.
So they're clearly not as strict with the rights on this movie.
So so of all of our movies so far, you can find this movie and Jack Frost on YouTube.
And Santa's Sleigh.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah.
alternate title, but yeah.
Yeah. I think you can still find it. I think we did it on Amazon, but I'm pretty sure you can get
We
the
did
whole
get
thing
it on Amazon.
on
You
YouTube.
should buy Santa's Sleigh.
Yeah,
You
that,
should,
yeah,
yeah.
100%.
One of my very good friends, Russ Johnson, who is responsible for me getting into MST3K as well as comic books and a lot of other things, watches that movie every year.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
As part of
Good.
his Christmas tradition.
Sounds like a great
So
human being.
He is one of the best guys that I met in college. So view again, or you finish your view again, brew again. As for me,
Mr. Max.
yeah.
I'm Mr. Manager.
Mr.
Yeah,
Manager.
Just say manager.
Yeah.
It's just Max.
that reminds me of back in the day, I wrote for a comedy newspaper in college, and when Arrested Development was announced as coming back, I'm like, will George Michael still refer to himself as Mr. Manager if he is in fact the manager of the banana stand? But besides the point,
A lot of people read that up in Houghton.
it's a daily publication, so yeah, because there is a word search and / crossword puzzle every day, so
Okay.
Nice.
So it's like the state news.
It's a good like I don't like being in this class paper. But as far as this beer goes, I'll have it again. Bourbon barrels are very hit or miss.
Same.
Some do it well, some not. Some the bourbon barrel overpowers.
Or is really harsh.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy whiskey and scotch, so I don't really worry about that. But I'm not looking to get like I'm gonna have a 16-ounce glass of scotch flavor when I'm drinking this.
Right.
which some fall under. But this one, I think, is a nice blend of you still have the stout flavors, you have the bourbon barrel flavors, and it's just overall it's a pretty solid beer. Definitely not for everyone. I mean, because stouts aren't for everyone. Bourbon barrels even less so, and like the half and half. I'm gonna look forward to trying more of the weird kind of little offshoots of this, because I think this beer has enough to experiment with. Like the raspberry one I had, the raspberry wasn't overpowering. I haven't had the chili one. I think there may be one or two more, but
I believe there's a vanilla one.
I would not be surprised.
Vanilla.
That is a common flavor for stouts and porters. The whole problem with that is balancing it. You don't want to have it overpowering like Atwater's vanilla Java Porter.
Right.
Way too much vanilla.
A lot of vanilla
sweet.
in that.
A lot of vanilla. The movie, I will watch it again if I want to show someone what this podcast is about.
Fair.
Yeah, so that's really about it.
It's going back to the beer a minute ago. I was just gonna kind of look it up on my Untapped here, but
yeah,
one of you guys mentioned at the beginning of this recording that there are some variations on Dragon's Milk, and one that has raspberry.
Yep.
I'm gonna try and dig it up here, but that kind of reminds me of what we did for Hercules when we drank the Lizard of Kaz.
Yeah.
And I just wonder that how those two would stack up next to each other.
So Lizard of Kaz had the chocolate into it, which made it a lot sweeter.
It was really sweet.
That was really,
sure.
really sweet.
Yeah. So the vanilla, if I remember correctly, it went from chocolate to vanilla, then the blueberry.
Yes, it ended on a really
like,
sweet note.
Or maybe it was other way around.
Right.
Chocolate, blueberry, then vanilla. I remember that. Yeah, it was a sweet ending, and that was what really turned me off. I don't want that sweet ending. I want more of the
smooth ending.
The smooth ending, or
Yeah.
if it's like
No, it ended on the blueberry because it ended on a really sweet note.
Oh, okay, yeah. But like Ballast Point Victory at Sea, which ends on the coffee as opposed to the vanilla.
That's good.
That is my much more preferred ending of a beer. So, yeah, you can, add a bunch of flavors to a beer, but it's all about the balances and how things are transitioned. And we will eventually have some more people onto the show who know much more about the brewing of beer, hopefully. So, but that's things to come in the future.
Woo!
All right. And so, yeah, that wraps up episode 20 of Good Brews, Bad Views. Tune in next time for an episode we are going to be titling Cleaning Out the Fridge, where we go over the past 20 episodes and how we think the podcast has been going and what we hope for the future.
General discussion.
Talk about open
miscellany.
Yeah.
Talk about open sets some more.
We've added a bunch of discussion points to episodes since then, like View Again, Brew Again, we didn't do for the next first 10 episodes. So
but that also is because we changed the format there.
True. Yeah. So I don't expect to be like, hey, you had this beer almost a year ago. What do you think about it now?
Let's save that, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see you guys next time. As always, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, our WordPress website, gbbvpodcast.wordpress.com.
Do we have a MySpace?
What? No, we don't have a MySpace.
Yeah, find us on LiveJournal.
Ooh. Hey, George R. Martin still uses
LiveJournal.
He does because he writes his books on like a 1993 computer apparently. So,
well, the internet doesn't stay stagnant with what year your computer